Alright, we Yahawah. Come out on the highways and let the so-called Negroes, Native Americans, and Hispanics know they are according to the Bible, which is Yahawah, man. Alright, we also come to let the so-called white man know who he is. He's Esau. Alright? Let you know that the Most High is soon to deliver us out of this kingdom, man. But first things first, we want to say, call Allah Yahawah Shah.
Call Allah Yahawah Shah.
Peace and blessings to you brothers and you sisters out there that believe in this truth and follow the ways of the Most High. We're gonna start out with saying our little creed. Anachnoa Banyam Ha-Aibad Abata Yahawah Hagawala Ba'an Yahawah La Kal Ha-Arataza Kaya Na Sha'awa Shamwat Yahawah Hashawab Noah Hawa'a Yahwashaya I Noah. That is alright. So this got a couple scriptures. It's not even in any specific order that I wrote down earlier. Probably not even gonna be long. About seeking the law, all right, of the Most High. All right, so first scripture is Psalms chapter 119, verse 1 through 8. Yeah, 1 through 8.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 119, at the top.
No, he knows which way he wants to go.
Blessed are the undefiled in the way who walk in the law of the Lord.
Right, it says, blessed are the undefiled in the way who walk in the way of the Lord, right?
Right.
In the way of the Lord. Undefiled meaning what? You're not defiled by this kingdom, man. The wickedness that goes on around you. Are you walking the ways of the Most High, which keeps you clean? All right, go ahead.
Verse 2, blessed are they that keep his testimonies and that seek him with the whole heart.
Right, what are the testimonies, the things contained in the scriptures that our forefathers went through? All right, blessed are they that keep his testimonies. All right, and that walk in the ways. Go ahead.
Verse 3, they also do no iniquity, they walk in his ways.
Right, they do no iniquity, they walk in his ways, meaning that we're not going out here causing all type of chaos, doing all type of things that's against the laws. We try to walk in the ways of the Most High, which are contained in his scriptures, mainly going back to the laws and the precepts of our forefathers. All right, go ahead.
Verse 4, thou hast commanded us to keep the precepts diligently.
Right, he's commanded us that we should read these scriptures and that we should keep the precepts contained in the scriptures diligently. These are the things that we should do while we're in this kingdom, while we're in our captivity. Go ahead.
Verse 5, oh that my ways were directed to keep thy statutes.
Right now.
Read that again.
Verse 5, oh that my ways were directed to keep thy statutes.
Right, and one of the things that you should be praying when you pray at night is that the Most High direct your ways. The Most High makes you to keep his statutes, because truly, if you could go get this real quick, 2nd Ezra chapter 3. You know what I'm talking about? 2nd Ezra like chapter 3. Say basically that the Most High made us to go up like. Yeah, 2nd Ezra chapter 3. He said he left the wicked heart in us. It's like around the 19th verse or something like that, I think. Yeah, 2nd Ezra 3, verse 19.
This is
to
2nd
22. Well, you can read, 19 to 22.
This is 2nd Ezra, chapter 3, verse 19. And thy glory went through 4 gates of fire, and the earthquake, and a wind, and a cold, that thou mightest give the law unto the seed of Jacob, and diligence unto the generation of Israel. And yet tookest thou not away from them a wicked heart, that thy law might bring forth fruit in them. For the first Adam bearing a wicked heart transgressed and was overcome, and so be all they that are born of him. Thus infirmity was made permanent, and the law also in the heart of the people, but the malignity of the root, so that the good departed away, and the evil abode still.
Right. Is that it? Read the part again about he took his not the heart, evil heart away from you.
Verse 21. For the first Adam bearing a wicked heart transgressed and was overcome, and so be all they that is born of him. Oh, it's popping. Verse 20. And yet tookest thou not away from them a wicked heart, that they lie, that thy law might bring forth fruit in them.
Right, so naturally, we still got that wicked heart. So we need the Most High to direct our ways in his law and in his truth. That's why you should pray that the Most High directs your path. That's why David said, oh, that you would direct my way. Give me this right quick, Isaiah 63 and 17, but we're going to come back to Psalms.
Isaiah what?
63 and 17. This is the proof that that wicked heart is still in us.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 63, verse 17. O Lord, why hast thou made us to err from thy ways, and harden our heart from thy fear? Return for thy servant's sake the tribes of thine inheritance.
Right, so that right there shows you as well that naturally, like that, we have that wicked heart in us still. That's why it's best to just ask the Most High that he direct our way in truth, man. All right, to follow after his law, that he makes you to do it, man. But go ahead.
This is on Romans chapter 8, verse 20. For the creature was made subject to vanity, not willingly, but by reason of him who have subjected the same in hope.
Right, the creature being Israel. We don't want to be wicked. We don't want to have a wicked heart in us, but we have it. And that's the whole struggle. You go back to 2nd Esdras. When you go to 2nd Esdras, it tells you that this is the war of man. You know? Let me go to 2nd Esdras and get that real quick. Oh, the 2nd Esdras chapter 7, verse 57 to 60.
This is 2nd Esdras chapter 7, verse 57. Then answered me and said, this is the condition of the battle which man that is born upon the earth shall fight.
Right, we got that wicked heart, but our spirits want to do right. This is the battle. Go ahead.
That if he be overcome, he shall suffer as thou hast said. But if he get the victory, he shall receive the thing that I say.
If he overcomes sin. If he's overcome by sin, or he gets the victory over sin. But the secret is that you need the Most High to get the victory over sin. Go ahead.
For this is the life whereof Moses spake unto the people while he lived, saying, choose thee life that thou mayest live. Nevertheless, they believed not him, nor yet the prophets after him. No, nor me, which have spoken unto them.
Right, that's it. Yep.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 119, start at 5. Start at 5. Oh, that my ways were directed to keep thy statutes. Then shall I not be ashamed when I have respect unto all thy commandments.
Right, right. You should be praying that the Most High keeps your way, read that one more time again.
Fine. We start at 4. That thou hast commanded us to keep thy precepts diligently. Oh, that my ways were directed to keep thy statutes.
Right. You should be praying that the Most High direct your ways to keep and to love his statutes and his commandments. And to love his ways. And to make you do them, man. That's what David is saying. Go ahead.
Verse 6. Then shall I not be ashamed when I have respect unto all thy commandments.
Right.
I will praise thee with the uprightness of heart when I shall have learned thy righteous judgments.
Right.
I will keep thy statutes.
Like it says, I will praise thee when I've learned thy righteous judgment. Like, look, when you go into our law, I was reading today, when you go into our law, right, we have a law, a welfare law, where when you glean your fields, you're supposed to not glean all of it. You're not supposed to take all the fruit off your fields. And you're supposed to do that for the fatherless, for the homeless, for the widow, for the poor. It says even for the strangers. I mean, even the heathens, man. That's a righteous law. That's a righteous judgment, man. Contained within our laws. But go ahead.
Verse 8. I will keep thy statutes. Oh, forsake me not utterly.
Right. All right. Yeah, but that shows, man, that the laws and the judgments, the commandments of the Most High, they're righteous, man. All right, and they lead to a strong nation, a strong, righteous, and wise nation, man.
And that's the way, keeping the laws is the way how you get understanding as well. We'll get it right here. This is Psalms chapter 111, verse 10. It says, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. A good understanding have all they that do his commandments. His praise endureth forever.
You can speak on it, man.
Right. So when you keep the law, statutes, and commandments, the Most High gives you understanding. That's the way on how you get understanding, by keeping the law, statutes, and commandments.
Word. That was in the song?
Yeah.
That was the end of Psalm 119?
Yeah. Verse 8?
Yeah.
Or you wanted me to go over
The verse 8.
Yeah, that was verse 8. All right.
Well, then we Wisdom of Solomon 6 and 17.
Y'all doing right. All right.
And then read 20. Wisdom of Solomon 6, verse 17 to 20, and then jump down to 24.
6, 17 to 20, and jump down to 24.
Yeah.
All right, this is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 6, verse 17
to 20.
For the true beginning of her is the desire of discipline.
Right, this is talking about wisdom, right? It says, for the true desire of her is what?
Is the desire of discipline.
The desire of discipline. So to become, it's talking about wisdom. So to become wise, you must obtain and desire discipline. Discipline over yourself and your actions. That's a key thing with acquiring wisdom. And that's the key thing in keeping the laws, is you have to be disciplined. You have to discipline yourself. Or you have to control yourself. You got to learn self-control. That's a very key thing, and it's true. It's discipline. All right? All right, go ahead.
Verse 17. For the true beginning of her is the desire of discipline, and the care of discipline is love.
And the care of discipline is love. Because if you love yourself, you're going to discipline yourself. If you love your children, you're going to discipline them. If you love the Most High, you're going to discipline yourself to keep his laws. If you love your wife, you're going to discipline yourself to not to do certain things that may hurt your wife. And you're also going to discipline your wife not to do certain things that will hurt you. or that would be disrespectful to you, or to keep the laws. All right, you're gonna maintain discipline over yourself as best as you can. And the thing about discipline is, you're never gonna conquer discipline. It's something that you always gotta work on. Go ahead.
It's, verse 18. And love is the keeping of her laws, and the giving heed unto her laws is the assurance of incorruption.
Read that one more time.
And love is the keeping of her laws.
And love is the keeping of her laws. Whose laws? Her being wisdom. So so love is the keeping of her law, the keeping of the laws. That's how you obtain the wisdom. What does it say?
And love is the keeping of her laws, and the giving heed unto her laws is the assurance of incorruption.
And the giving heed unto her laws, the laws of the Most High, which is wisdom, guarantee incorruption. All right, you won't become corrupt. All right? Corrupt meaning corrupt how you deem the term today. You won't become corrupt and you won't see death. You'll live eternally, man. Whether in this form or another form, man. All right? You got a precept? Verse 24.
And incorruption maketh us near unto the Most High.
Right. That's how you get close to the Most High. By the keeping of his laws and the loving of wisdom and discipline. Discipline. Go ahead.
Verse 20. Therefore the desire
wait, you know what? My bad. You got to be, this is another thing. I mean, fuck it, I'm going to just say it. A big problem that I had with GMS is the lack of discipline in their words, man. You got to be disciplined about what you're saying, how you treating other brothers, and what you're saying to people. If you have a lack of discipline, you just fly off the fucking handle and say whatever comes to the first thing that comes to your mind. That's not a love of wisdom, man. That don't bring you close to the Most High. You have to be disciplined. The scriptures talk about disciplining your tongue, to put a bridle on your tongue, man. But in that group, they don't discipline their tongue. They don't control. They don't have a control over their tongues, man. They just say the first thing that comes to their mouth. A lot of that shit, a lot of that stuff is not good for our nation or for younger brothers to take heed to, man. I mean, but go ahead.
Verse 20. Therefore the desire of wisdom bringeth to a kingdom. Jump down to 24. But the multitude of the wise is the welfare of the world, and a wise king is the upholding of the people.
Right. So when you come into this truth, it says king right there, but a leader is going to uphold his people, and he's going to be wise. He's going to be disciplined. He's going to be caring. He's going to keep the laws of the Most High. He's going to be loving and keeping those laws to the Most High towards his brother. All right? That's what we must be. Brothers call other brothers kings. This is what you must do, man. Big part of that is the discipline, man. The discipline in yourself to keep the Most High laws and to deal with other brothers, like Yahawah said, do unto others as thou want done unto thyself. Like Tobit says, do nothing to a man that you would not like for yourself, man. Do nothing that thou hatest to another man. That's what Tobit said.
I got a quick one for you going into the whole being disciplined.
Right.
This is Galatians chapter 5.
You can speak on it too.
5 verse 22. But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, long-suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith, meekness, temperance. Against such there is no law. And temperance, when you have temperance, that means to have self-control, like the brother's saying. You got to have discipline and self-control over yourself, man.
Yep. Read that one again now. That's a powerful one, man.
This is Galatians chapter 5, verse 22. But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, long-suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith, meekness, temperance. Against such there is no law.
Right. Right. That's a good one, man. Oh, you know what else talk about that? Titus.
Titus.
Yeah. Let's see if I can find it real quick. It's like the second chapter of Titus.
Titus 2:2. The aged man be sober, brave, temperate.
Yeah, read that.
This is Titus chapter 2. We'll start at the top at verse 1. But speak thou the things which become sound doctrine, that the aged men be sober, brave, temperate, sound in faith, in charity, in patience.
Right. Right. That charity means love, man. If I'm not mistaken. Alright, so yeah, when you was reading that,
I was in Psalms.
you was reading the precept that you had, right?
Galatians chapter 5.
And then what was that? The last place we was at was Wisdom of Solomon 6. Read verse 24 for me. Alright, go ahead and go to Wisdom of Solomon chapter 4 verse 8. We're gonna go with Wisdom of Solomon a lot, that's correct a lot.
This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 4, verse 8. For the honorable age is not that which standeth in length of time, nor that is measured by number of years.
Right, so yeah, you hear some brothers say, man, I've been in this truth for 30 years. I've been in it for 10 years, for 20 years. Ah, man, I'm your elder. You have people say, well, you're supposed to listen to me and respect me because I'm older than you. But, fuck it, man. Tahar said, you can't tell him nothing because he's been in the truth for 30 years. Well, what that say, Art?
But wisdom, verse 9, but wisdom is the gray hair unto men, and an unspotted life is old age.
Read that one more time.
But wisdom
Go back. Read from the top.
Verse 8?
Yeah.
For the honorable age is not that which standeth in length of time.
It don't matter how long you've been in the truth. It don't matter how old you are. That don't make you honorable. It don't make you right. All right? Go ahead.
For the honorable age is not that which standeth in length of time, nor that is measured by number of years.
They ain't care about measured by number of years. Go ahead.
But wisdom is the gray hair unto men, and an unspotted life is old age.
Read that last part again.
But wisdom is the gray hair unto men.
Wisdom. And we just read how you get wisdom. The desire of discipline. So you will see a man that has wisdom will be disciplined. And he will be keeping the Most High laws. But it say wisdom is what?
But wisdom is the gray hair unto men.
That's the gray hairs. Go ahead.
And an unspotted life is old age.
Unspotted life is old age, meaning your life is filled with righteous acts. I mean, you don't have a bunch of wickedness in your life, man. You know what I mean? You have a bunch of blots so people can say, yo, that dude is wicked. He did this, he did that. You got multiple people calling saying you wicked because of your actions. All right? All right. Wisdom of Solomon 7 and 25 through 30.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 25. For she is the...
No, 7 and 25. What you reading? It said chapter 25.
Oh, I'm sorry. Slide. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7, verse 25. For she is the breath of the power of the Most High.
Who is she? She being wisdom again. All right, go ahead.
She is the breath and the power of the Most High,
Right.
and a pure influence flowing from the glory of the Almighty.
She is the breath and the power of the Most High. And what else? Some flowing from
Pure influence flowing from the glory of the Almighty.
pure influence flowing from the power and glory of the Most High. Go ahead.
Therefore can no defiled thing fall into her.
You defile, you're not dealing with it. Go ahead. Not dealing with wisdom.
Verse 26. For she is the brightness of the everlasting light, the unspotted mirror of the power of the Most High, and the image of his goodness.
The image of his goodness, man. The image that's of all the goodness of the Most High is in wisdom. And in wisdom is the law. Go ahead.
And being but one, she can do all things, and remaining in herself, she maketh all things new. And in all ages, entering into holy souls.
Enter into what?
Holy souls.
Right. So you gotta be a holy soul. A holy soul, and holy means set apart from the word kodash. It means to set apart, set aside, or be different, man. Still on? For a minute. So that wisdom is only gonna enter into a set apart soul, man. Remember that wisdom deals with discipline and the laws of the Most High. Go ahead.
She maketh them friends of the Most High and prophets.
She making them what?
Friends of the Most High and prophets.
So you get to the law, and that's what we're going to go into next. You deal with the law, you start dealing with the prophecies, because the law brings you to the prophecies, and it brings you to the Most High. You become friends with the Most High. Right? Like Abraham. Go ahead.
For the Most High loveth none but him that dwelleth with wisdom.
The Most High love who?
None but him that dwelleth with
The
wisdom.
Most High love those that dwell with wisdom. And wisdom comes by what? The desire of discipline. You must become disciplined. You must learn to discipline yourself, your actions, and even try to discipline your thoughts. And then it comes with the keeping of the laws. And if you're not doing those things, it flees from you, like we read earlier. Is that it?
Verse 29. For she is more beautiful than the sun, and above all the order of stars. Being compared with the light, she is found before it. For after this cometh night, but vice shall not prevail against wisdom.
Vice, no wicked thing shall prevail against wisdom. None of this stuff you see on the earth, all the wickedness you see on the earth today, is going to prevail against wisdom, against the laws, and against the Most High. None of that shit is going to prevail. You know what I mean? So that was it on that, right?
Yeah.
All right, so go to Sirach 39, 1 through 8.
This is the book of Sirach. This is the book of Sirach, chapter 39, verse 1. But he that giveth his mind to the law of the Most High, and is occupied in the meditation thereof, will seek out the wisdom of all the ancient, and be occupied in prophecies.
See how wisdom and the law go hand in hand? And then and the prophecies go hand in hand? If you deal in the law, you're going to start seeking out the wisdom of the ancients. And then you're going to start seeking out the prophecies. It's going to give you a basis to go into the prophecies. Right? Go ahead.
He will keep the sayings of the renowned men, and where subtle parables are, he will be there also.
Right, you'll keep the sayings of renowned men, such as the things written by King David and King Solomon. Songs of Solomon, Proverbs, all right, Sirach. All right, these are wise men. And you start to keep these sayings, and you start to apply them to your life, and everybody else see you as being wise, but all you're doing is you're applying the wise words of the ancients. Well, it's not really that it's not you that's wise. You didn't come up with these things, but you're applying them. Go ahead.
Verse 3. He will seek out the secrets of grave sentences and be conversant in dark parables.
Right.
He shall serve among great men.
He shall serve among great men. Notice whenever the people came to enslave Israel, they would go get the great men. They would go get the prophets to be the servants of the kings. Most of the books you read in the scriptures, where you read about a prophet that went into captivity, such as Daniel, such as Tobit, they were all servants to the king, such as Joseph. They're all servants to the king because they were wise men, such as Mordecai or Mordecai. They were all servants to the king because they were wise men, conversant in dark sayings, dark parables, and in the law. Go ahead.
He shall serve among great men and appear before princes. He will travel through strange countries, for he hath tried the good and the evil among men. He will give his heart to resort early to the Lord that made him, and he will pray before the Most High, and will open his mouth in prayer and make supplication for his sins.
Right, meaning you go to the Most High for your sin, because we all sin. We just try to offend less, as the scriptures say. Go ahead.
When the great Lord will, he shall be filled with the spirit of understanding.
When the great Lord, the great Yahawah wills, this man that was occupied in the law shall be filled with what?
Shall be filled with the spirit of understanding.
With the spirit of understanding. All right, through your labors in dealing in the law and in the sayings of the ancient, you'll be filled with the spirit of understanding from the Most High at his directed time. Go ahead.
He shall pour out wise sentences and give thanks unto the Lord in his prayer.
That means when you start to speak, you're going to speak and it's going to sound wise to people. You're going to pour out wisdom out of your mouth. Every time you open your mouth, it's going to be wise shit coming out, man. Wise stuff coming out. And you're going to give praise to the Most High. But that's what happens when you occupy yourself in the law of the Most High. Go ahead.
He shall direct his counsel in knowledge, and in the secrets shall he meditate.
Read that again.
He shall direct his counsel in knowledge.
Because counsel is important in a nation, man. Not just a nation, but in a group. If your counsel is corrupted, your nation or your group is corrupted. But it says he shall do what?
He shall direct his counsel in knowledge, and in his secrets shall he meditate. He shall show forth that which he hath learned, and shall glory in the law of the covenant of the Lord.
He shall show forth that which he learned, and shall glory in the covenant of the Lord, man. All right, is that it?
Verse 9.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Many shall commend his understanding, and so long as the world endureth, it shall not be blotted out. His memorial shall not depart away, and his name shall live from generation to generation.
That's what you hear about Solomon.
Yeah, we went into that other lesson when we spoke about having a good name.
Oh yeah, say that. Speak on it, huh?
Nah, just going off of the scripture when it says that his name shall live from generation to generation. And that's going into having a good name. We did a lesson on it before.
Yep.
We spoke about from generation to generation.
I gotta write that shit down, man. I'm comfortable with people. I remember it. You got one first? Put that in on that lesson. That was verse 9?
Yeah.
I ain't quote yet. All right, go ahead and go to Sirach chapter 4, verse 17 to 29.
This is Sirach chapter 4, verse 17. For at the first she will walk with him by crooked ways.
She being wisdom again.
And bring fear and dread upon him, and torment him with her discipline until she may trust his soul.
Right, that's like when you first come in the truth and you be fucking up all the time. You get mad at yourself, you scared the Most High gonna mess you up. That's what it's talking about. Torment you with her discipline, man. But it's you starting to discipline yourself. Go ahead.
And try him by her laws. Then,
and it says, and she, being wisdom, is going to try you by her laws. Go ahead.
Then will she return the straight way unto him, and comfort him, and shew him her secrets.
And after she can trust you, then she'll return the straight ways to you. When she can trust you with her secrets of wisdom. Go ahead.
Verse 19. But if he go wrong, she will forsake him and give him over to his own ruin.
Read that again.
Verse 19. But if he go wrong, she will forsake him and give him over to his own ruin.
Right. If you go wrong, you do wrong and constantly do wrong, she's gonna forsake you, give you over to your own ruin. We see that with certain camps today. Give you over to your own ruin, and you're gonna ruin yourself. Go ahead.
Verse 20. Observe the opportunity and beware of evil, and be not ashamed when it is concerneth thy soul.
Observe what?
Observe the opportunity.
Go ahead.
And beware of evil.
Right. When you get that opportunity to be judged fit or unfit by wisdom of the Most High, you got to take that opportunity and try to do right. Try to stay humble. Try to do the best you can to be righteous, man. Try to be disciplined. And then beware of wickedness, man. What did it say? Beware of what?
Beware of evil.
Beware of evil, which is anything against the laws. Go ahead.
And be not ashamed when it concerneth thy soul.
Right.
For there is a shame that bringeth sin, and there is a shame which is glory and grace.
There's a shame that bringeth the sin. And read that last part again. Be not ashamed when it concerneth thy soul.
Verse 20. Observe the opportunity and beware of evil, and be not ashamed when it concerneth thy soul.
Keep going.
For there is a shame that bringeth sin, and there is a shame which is glory and grace.
Right. Meaning that when you go off, I mean, you're ashamed for going off, but don't be so ashamed that you lose your confidence in being in this truth, man. You gotta, you ask for forgiveness. You try not to do it again. They say because there's a what?
For there is a shame that bringeth sin.
There's a shame that bringeth sin. That's when you don't recognize that you did wrong. Or you do recognize it, but you don't give a fuck, you're gonna be proud. And it's a what?
And there is a shame which is glory and grace.
You learn from your mistake, man. And you try to do better. Right? Is that it?
29. Verse 22. Accept no person against thy soul, and let not the reverence of any man cause thee to fall.
Once again, I mean, I keep talking about them. Once again, like this GMS. Don't let the reverence of one man make you fall. Look, man, if the man is off, you shouldn't be praising the man. The man is saying something that's wrong or doing something that's wrong, you shouldn't be going along with that shit. That's for any man. If we say something or do something that's wrong, you shouldn't be going along with us. You shouldn't be praising us, man, for the wrong that we're doing. You know what I mean? Go ahead.
Verse 23. And refrain not to speak when there is occasion to do good.
And when it's occasion to say good or do good, you should speak up. Go ahead.
And hide not thy wisdom in her beauty.
Right. When you got wisdom, don't hide it, man. You know what I mean? It don't mean to be proudful and boastful on people, but speak up. Don't hide the wisdom that you obtain. The wisdom that we get is to teach others, man. Like Solomon said later in this book, I'm sorry, not Solomon, Sirach said in his book, I've not, what he said, I've labored to obtain wisdom for those that seek it, man. All right, go ahead.
Verse 24. For by speech wisdom shall be known, and learning by the word of the tongue.
Go ahead.
In no wise speak against the truth, but be abashed of the error of thine ignorance. Be not ashamed to confess thy sins.
Read that again, my fault. Be not abashed of thy ignorance.
Yeah. In no wise speak against the truth.
We shouldn't talk against the truth. Well, like one thing, like when we brought out the whole thing on the shaving, right? The lining up and the shaving and all that. We did so many videos on it. To be honest, we could have kept going. It's a lot of stuff that we didn't bring out on that. But we did so many videos on it, proving of what the truth was. We even went into the Hebrew. And there's no way to get around what the Hebrew says. And people still catching GMS that didn't even watch the videos, or maybe they did watch some of the videos. They spoke against it just because Tahar said that it was wrong. And Tahar had no proof that it was wrong. But it was the truth what we said. But they spoke against that truth. Go ahead, just because of the group that they were in. Go ahead,
Verse 25. In no wise speak against the truth.
Right.
But be abashed of the error of thine ignorance.
Be abashed, all right, or ashamed at the error of thy ignorance. Meaning, if you don't know something, you should be ashamed. Like, you should be ashamed that you didn't know it. Not saying that you should be ashamed if you don't know something, but if you speak against it, man. We brought that out. Them brothers should be ashamed that they spoke against it without even looking into it to see if what we were saying was true or not. Keep going.
Verse 26. Be not ashamed to confess thy sins.
Be not ashamed to confess thy sins. When you wrong, you wrong. You shouldn't be ashamed to say, well, I was wrong. Some of the things when we were in GMS, we were teaching was wrong. It was wrong to be telling men that came into the camp that they off because they shaved their beard or they lined up their face or they had a lineup, they had a haircut. And we would tell them, hey man, that's against the law. That shit wasn't against the law. We were wrong. But you're not supposed to be afraid to say you were wrong or to say your sin, to confess your sins, man. That's being proud, man. And we ain't supposed to be like that. It said, pride is the beginning of wickedness, man. All right, so you're supposed to stay away from that shit. But go ahead.
Verse 26. Be not ashamed to confess thy sins, and force not the course of the river.
Force not the course of the river. What does that mean? Don't force shit on people, man. Don't force stuff all the time, man. Go ahead.
Make not thyself an underling to a foolish man, neither accept the person of the mighty.
Right, don't make yourself to underling of a foolish man. It goes for a lot of camps out there, man. If you see this camp is doing things that are foolish and unprofitable for you as a person, for us as a nation, and for themselves, you must deem that person unfit to rule, foolish, and depart from them, man. Which is in our case what we did. Go ahead.
Verse 28. Strive for the truth unto death.
Strive for the truth unto death, man. Go ahead.
And the Lord shall fight for thee.
And the Most High gonna fight for you. We don't have to fight no battles. The Most High gonna fight for us because we just want to deal with the truth. For us, it's not a thing of pride. We want to be the biggest camp. Or we want to be the head of Israel. Or we want to be some special ass role. We could give a fuck about that shit, man. We just want to bring the truth out and raise our families in this truth. Shit. I don't care about no fucking position. Fuck that shit, man. It's about the truth. Plain and simple. That it.
Verse 29. Be not hasty in thy tongue, and in thy deeds slack and remiss.
Remember we just read that about discipline? Wisdom is the desire for discipline. Remember we was talking about the discipline of the tongue? We'll read that one more time.
Verse 29. Be not hasty in thy tongue.
Be not hasty in thy tongue. Man, you ain't supposed to just say the first thing that come to your mind, man. Alright? Oh, man. It's cold leaving kids, man. Fuck it. Cold leaving kids. You know what I mean? Oh, none of y'all women in the truth. And then later on, 2 weeks later, you contradict yourself by saying the total fucking opposite of that. That's because you're supposed to have discipline over your tongue. Oh, brothers. Man, I ain't even gonna talk about them, man. Go ahead, all right. Shit, keep going back to them, man.
We'll read verse 29 again.
Go ahead,
Be
man.
not hasty in thy tongue.
Right, don't be hasty in your tongue. Especially when you're a teacher, man. When you out here, you ain't supposed to just say the first thing that come to mind. Or the first thing that come to your head, man. You're supposed to refine your thoughts, man. You're supposed to control your tongue, man. You're supposed to be more disciplined and controlled out here, man, as being a teacher or a leader. You should know that from being a husband or a man that got a woman. You can't just say anything to your woman. You gotta refine that shit, because they'll take it the wrong way. That's why a lot of you dudes got women problems in your house, because y'all don't understand that shit, man. To be disciplined. You can't say anything to anybody. This brother right here, I may be able to talk to him a certain way, but then another brother, I can't talk to him the same way because he takes things differently. It ain't no, you know what I mean? Like it's not a fucking one shit fits everybody, man. Certain people have different tolerances. You can't talk to everybody the same way. You can't talk to men and women in the same way, which is why in languages, they have a feminine aspect of how you speak to women, and they have a way how you speak to men. They have a feminine and a masculine. But all that come in wisdom, man. But you gotta have discipline. And you damn sure gotta have discipline of the tongue. But go ahead. Be not hasty.
Be not hasty in thy tongue, and in thy deeds slack and remiss.
Be not slack and remiss in your deeds, man. Being loose in the things that you do. Meaning when you out and you're talking and you're doing, you're supposed to be on point. You're supposed to be disciplined about it. You ain't supposed to just be letting shit fly out your mouth and just doing whatever. The scripture's saying, Timothy, let's get that real quick. The scripture's saying, Timothy, that we are examples of the believers, man. That's why you're not supposed to do that shit. That's why you have to be disciplined. Because you're an example of a believer. You're an example of Yahawah. You're an example of a man. Yeah, that's it.
4:12. Yeah, this is 1 Timothy chapter 4, verse 12. Let no man despise thy youth, but be thou an example of the believers in the word, in conversation, in charity, in spirit, in faith, in purity.
You're supposed to be an example. You go all the way down. But you're supposed to be an example, man. It says of a believer, but I'm going to take it back, man. I'm going to take it back to the Old Testament. It says that you're supposed to teach your children the precept, the laws. All right? And like, what is it, Deuteronomy 6 or something like that? It says you're supposed to teach your children the laws and the precepts. You're supposed to be an example of a man, of Yahawah. All right? You're supposed to be an example to your children, to your wife, to your neighbors. All right? Of what a man of Yahawah, what an Israelite is supposed to be. I ain't even going to say a believer. But that's what the scriptures say right there. But it goes way beyond just being a believer, man. All right? As an Israelite man, you're supposed to be an example of what an Israelite man is, even to the other nations. All right? Because in the kingdom, we're going to have to teach them. All right? Go ahead.
Verse 12. Let no man despise thy youth, but be thou an example of the believers in the word, in conversation, in charity, in spirit, in faith, in purity. Till I come, give attendance to reading, to exhortation, to doctrine. Neglect not the gift that is in thee, which was given thee by prophecy, with the laying on of the hands of the presbytery. Meditate upon these things, give thyself wholly to them, that thy profit may appear to all. Profiting may appear to all. Take heed unto thyself, unto the doctrine, continue in them, for in doing this thou shalt both save thyself and them that hear thee.
Right, and doing all of this, you're going to save yourself and those that hear you, man. All right? You got a precept? Okay. Sirach chapter 7, verse 1 through 2.
This is Sirach chapter 7, verse 1. Do no evil, so shall no harm come unto thee. Depart from the unjust, and iniquity shall turn away from thee.
Once again, this is the reason why we love GMS. Read that one more time.
Sirach chapter 7, verse 1. Do no evil, so shall no harm come unto thee.
Don't do evil to other people. The scriptures say that time and time again. Do unto others as thou want done unto thyself. Don't do that which thou hatest to another man. What did it say?
Depart from the unjust, and iniquity shall turn away from thee.
Exactly. We felt like GMS was the unjust, so we left them. We felt like they were doing things that were not just, so we left them. I would advise you to do the same. That's it on that. Sirach 19 to 18 through 20.
This is Sirach chapter 19, verse 18. The fear of the Lord is the first step to the fear of the Lord is the first step to be accepted of him, and wisdom obtaineth his love.
Wisdom, the fear of the Lord is the first step to be accepted by him. Right? Then it says what? The obtaining of wisdom. What?
It says accepted of him, and wisdom obtaineth his love.
Wisdom obtaineth his love. Because, like we read, wisdom starts with the laws and discipline. That's how you get the love of the Most High. Go ahead.
The knowledge of the commandments of the Lord is the doctrine of life, and they that
read that again.
The knowledge of the commandments of the Lord is the doctrine of life. The
knowledge of the commandments of the Lord is what? The doctrine of life. It's not the doctrine of GMS. It's not the doctrine of ISUPK. It's not the doctrine of no Israelite group. It's not the doctrine of us. It's the doctrine of the read that again.
The knowledge of the commandments.
That's the doctrine. the knowledge of the commandments. All right, go ahead.
Is the doctrine of life.
That's the doctrine of life. Go ahead.
And they that do things that please him shall receive the fruit of the tree of immortality.
Right, you got to do the things that please him. What are the things that please the Most High? The keeping of his laws, and the keeping of the precepts, man. All right, go ahead.
Verse 20. The fear of the Lord is all wisdom, and in all wisdom is the performance of the law.
Read that again.
The fear of the Lord is all wisdom.
The fear of the Lord is all wisdom. Go ahead.
And in all wisdom is the performance of the law.
In all wisdom, once again, the wisdom goes back to the law. That's how you get the wisdom. And all wisdom is what? The performance. Not the knowing, not just knowing it. Not just coming on the corner teaching it. Performing it. The performance of the law. Go ahead.
And the knowledge of his omnipotency.
Right.
If a servant say to his master, I will not do, I think that's it.
Where you at?
Verse 20.
That's it. Wisdom of Solomon 6:1. In fact, we know we're gonna skip all that. I don't even want to go into the wickedness shit. Proverbs 28 and 18. Yeah, I was gonna go through the wicked and all that. I don't even want to deal with that. We got a good one right here.
Proverbs 28.
28 and 18.
This is Proverbs chapter 28, verse 18. Whosoever walketh uprightly shall be saved, but he that is perverse in his ways shall fall at once.
Ezekiel 18 and 1 through 18. Right, so the person that's going to be saved, because we all want to be saved for the kingdom, right? The person that's going to be saved is him that walks uprightly. How do you walk uprightly? By the performance of the law, right? In the seeking of wisdom, which comes by discipline.
I started.
Yeah.
This is Ezekiel chapter 18, verse 7. And have not oppressed any, but have restored. Verse 6. But if a man be just and do that which is lawful and right, and have not eaten upon the mountains, neither have lifted up his eyes to idols of the house of Israel, neither have defiled his neighbor's wife, neither have come near to a mistress woman, and have not oppressed any, but have restored to the debtors his pledge, have spoiled none by violence, have given his bread to the hungry, and have covered the naked with a garment. He that has not given forth upon usury, neither have taken any increase, that have withdrawn his hand from iniquity, have executed true judgment between man and man, have walked in my statutes and kept my judgments to deal truly. He is just, he shall surely live, saith the Lord.
Read that last part again. Have walked in my statutes.
Verse 9. He have walked in my statutes and have kept my judgments to deal truly. He is just, he shall surely live, saith the Lord power.
Notice it says, he had walked in my statutes and in my judgments to deal truly. He is just, he shall live. That is what makes you just, man. That you walk in the statutes and the judgments of the Most High to do what? To deal justly with your brother and between man and man. This is what makes you righteous. This is what it says, he shall live, man. This is life, man. Okay? Go ahead.
If he beget a son that is a robber and a shedder of blood, and that doeth the like to any one of these things, and that doeth not any of those duties, but even hath eaten upon the mountains and defiled his neighbor's wife, have oppressed the poor and needy, have spoiled by violence.
Notice that it talks about the poor and the needy as well. Because that's also in the law. All right? Go ahead.
He have oppressed the poor and needy, and have spoiled by violence, have not restored the pledge, and lifted up his eyes to the idols, have committed abomination, have given forth upon usury, and have taken increase. Shall he then live? He shall not live. He have done all these abominations, he shall surely die. His blood shall be upon him.
So if you're not keeping them laws, right, to deal justly with your brother, all right, then you're gonna die. All right, that's what this scripture is saying. Go ahead.
Verse 14. Now, lo, if he beget a son that seeth all his father's sins which he hath done, and considereth and doeth not such like, that have not eaten upon the mountains, neither have lifted up his eyes to idols of the house of Israel, have not defiled his neighbor's wife, neither have oppressed any, have not withholden the pledge, neither have spoiled by violence, but have given his bread to the hungry, and have covered the naked with a garment, that have taken off his hand from the poor, that have not received usury nor increase, have executed my judgments, have walked in my statutes, he shall not die for the iniquity of his father, he shall surely live.
Right. Verse 17.
This is Ezekiel chapter 18, verse 18. As for his father, because he cruelly oppressed, spoiled his brother by violence, and did that which is not good among his people, lo, even he shall die in his iniquity.
Right. That's it. Luke chapter 10, verse 25 to what it do, asking what was the greatest commandment. You said love thy neighbor as thyself, and then love the Most High. Yeah, do that.
I know what you're thinking about. Yeah, I never think about it. What's over there?
You said this is the commandments. All the commandments of the prophet. That one is good.
Yes, that is fun. That's so fun. They play good too. All over everywhere. Yeah. Yeah. Outside.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 22, we start at 35. Then one of them, which was a lawyer, asked him a question, tempting him and saying, Master, which is the great commandment in the law? Yahawah said unto him, Thou shalt love thy Lord, thy power, with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy mind. This is the first and great commandment. And the second is like unto it, Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. On these two commandments hang all the law and the prophets.
Right, so to summarize everything, right? Especially reading from Ezekiel chapter 18, the ones that is going to live is those keeping the laws. And what the law hinges on is loving the Most High with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your might, and loving your neighbor the same way. That's why I said in Ezekiel, to him that deals, that walks in the laws and the commandments of the Most High, to deal justly with his neighbor, with his brother, man. It said, and also said to deal justly between man, to judge justly between man and man. See, on this is what hangs all the law and all the prophets. It sums it all up. Those two things. Those two things sum it up. All right? So going to get 2nd Ezra, chapter 12, verse 46. And that's going to be the end of it. Yep.
This is 2nd Ezra, chapter 12, verse 46. Be of good comfort, O Israel, and be not heavy, thou house of Jacob.
Right, be of good comfort. Like, when we were in GMS, we used to be, like, depressed, man, because we were in this kingdom. But we're supposed to be of good comfort, man. All right, because what? The Most High gonna deliver us. All right, the children of Israel. All right, read that.
Be, O good, this is 2nd Ezra chapter 12, verse 46. Be of good comfort, O Israel, and be not heavy, thou house of Jacob.
Right.
For the highest have you in remembrance, and the mighty have not forgotten you in temptation.
The Most High remember us. He ain't forget us in temptation. So we should be happy. All right, knowing that whether it's today, tomorrow, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, we know that the Most High is not going to forget us and leave us here forever. We know that eventually one day he's going to save our nation. There's nothing to be depressed about and to be sad about. All right? Hey, sometimes we get a little angry for being in this captivity. But overall, shit, I'm happy. I'm good, man. I know that the Most High gonna deliver his children. And he's not gonna leave us here in temptation forever, man. All right, so with that, you got any more?
I'm gonna finish that out.
All right, go ahead.
This is verse 48. As for me, I have not forsaken you, neither am I departed from you, but am come into this place to pray for the desolation of Zion, that I might seek mercy for the lower state of your sanctuary.
That's right. You got anything you want to say on that? Anything you want to say at all? All right, so with that, man, we say call halal Yahawah Bashim Yahawah.
Call Allah Yahweh Bashim Yahweh.
And peace and blessings to you brothers and you sisters out there, man. All right, so we say shalom. Oh no, I turned it off. You got all that high tech stuff, man.